Welcome investigators to a cynically awesome review. Today, I'll be looking at the Curse of the Rougarou scenario pack for Arkham Horror, the card game. Now this is the first review I've done, and I wanted to do this scenario pack in particular because even I was debating whether or not to get this scenario pack. Because when you look at it, this is a standalone scenario pack for Arkham Horror, the card game. It will consist of 62 cards and is a standalone scenario. It retails for $15, give or take. Now, if you've been paying attention to Arkham Horror, the card game, you'll know that the Mythos packs that are coming out will also retail for $15 and have just about as many cards. However, they will also have 20 or so cards within those packs that will be new investigator cards that you can use to customize your decks. But that's not in this scenario pack. This scenario pack's full 60 cards will be solely towards the scenario itself. So is it worth it? Of course, before I actually begin, I will say that this will be a spoiler-free review. So you don't have to worry about me ruining any of the surprise for you. But here's what you'll get. There isn't a sheet of paper to guide you to how to play the scenario because it's actually a part of the cards themselves. As you turn this over, it'll give you all the rules and setup for the scenario itself. So what makes this different from the Mythos packs that we'll be getting in the future? As of the time of this recording, the Dunwich Legacy expansion has not come out yet. The thing about this is that the Mythos packs that are coming out soon will be specifically a part of the Dunwich Legacy, whereas this Curse of the Rougarou is completely standalone. That means that this scenario can officially be played in any other campaign you do in Arkham Horror, the card game, whereas the Mythos pack scenarios that are coming out may only possibly, we don't know yet, may only be available in the Dunwich Legacy campaign. Of course, all scenarios can be played completely standalone, but we want that campaign experience. So what does the Curse of the Rougarou have to offer? For people who are familiar with the scenarios that are in the base game, Night of the Zealot, the question is this scenario different? Does it play differently than the three scenarios in the base game? The short answer to that is yes. If you're familiar with the three scenarios, you'll know that each of them have something unique about them, and the Curse of the Rougarou is no different. Its gimmick, so to speak, is unique so far to this scenario. Now, it gives you all 60 cards that you'll need, and you won't put this entire encounter deck to start. But this encounter deck can grow to become this large 40-somewhat card encounter deck. So if you look at this here, it says how to play this as a standalone game using its specific token pool, and on the back it will say how to incorporate this into a campaign. The way to incorporate this into a campaign is simply to be able to play it between any two scenarios, but every investigator that wants to take part has to first spend one experience point. So you can incorporate this at any point during your campaign, in between scenarios, whether you want to just elongate your campaign or you want another shot at potential goodies. But how much variety is there in this scenario? Well, again, I can't give too much spoilers, but I will say that this scenario comes with a number of locations. It comes with 4 sets, you can consider it. And during setup, you'll pick 3 of the sets, meaning that one set will be left out entirely for your game. So for future games, you could decide to include it. So you do have variety in how that works. Now, of course, the act and the encounter deck are relatively short, but a single game could last longer than the scenarios you might be used to in the base game. And the reason for that is this game has a lot of theming. The Rougarou here is this werewolf-looking monster. And without giving too much away, just like on the other scenarios, you'll find that there are multiple resolutions to this pack. I think where this scenario excels in is giving the players a sense of tension the players can overcome. If you're familiar with Lovecraftian games, the Arkham Horror series, and the other Fantasy Flight games, you'll know that things can turn south at the blink of an eye, and it feels like you've lost all hope. And sure, that's Lovecraftian, right? Yeah, but it's not always the most fun experience. But when the Curse of the Rougarou reveals its gimmick to the players, there's that aha moment, that epiphany where it's like, now I get it. What didn't make sense before now has a plethora of purpose. And now it's up to the investigators to find a way around it. And the clock starts ticking. And you can feel it. But it doesn't feel hopeless. In fact, it's exhilarating. Because you can almost calculate it if you're that kind of player, or if you like to just take things as they go. Seeing everything react to you is exciting, which makes this scenario truly unique to what's currently available in Arkham Horror, the card game. But what about this scenario's lasting effect? Well, I will say I'm somewhat disappointed at what the players can come out with by the end of the scenario. You don't, get any grand treasures that really make a difference in your campaign, but maybe that's a good thing. It would be somewhat of a shame if one scenario gets always included into your campaign because it has the best loot. So I guess there's a bit of a balance between the meta of the game, I guess you could say. But currently, you would always want to include Curse of the Rougarou because it is a lot of fun the first few times you play it. I can imagine, even with the variety that you can get in the setup, once you understand the cards, or once you already know what the cards have to offer, you might be able to cheese it. And the thing that makes this different from the Dunwich Legacy coming up is that because this scenario can be played in any campaign, it's possible that it could see more use than any of your other scenarios, which might only be campaign specific. And that's just me looking ahead. But I can say currently, I have had a lot of fun with Curse of the Rougarou. The scenario itself is a lot of fun and challenging. It, just like the rest of Arkham Horror, the card game, does encourage a lot of different tactics, trying out new investigators and new skills. If you love Arkham Horror, the card game as it is currently, of course you would love to add this to your collection. If you didn't really care for the game to begin with, I don't think this would necessarily change your mind about it. If you didn't like the core game itself, a really fun scenario wouldn't change that. Or maybe it would. Maybe you're just on the edge of thinking whether or not you like this game, because Curse of the Rougarou does offer something different. But that's all I have to say about Curse of the Rougarou. I hope you've enjoyed my review/overview of this scenario pack. And if you would like to see more videos like this, let me know. And if you would like to see me, of course, be more revealing as to what's in here, let me know. I didn't want to go too overboard and possibly turn someone away because they already knew what was going to happen. In short, if you're looking for something new, unique, tense, but not too overwhelming, Curse of the Rougarou is a lot of fun. And it's a great way to extend your campaign experience. It might not be able to tide you over until the Dunwich Legacy comes out, but it does make a good effort. But also think of it this way. The Mythos packs coming out require the Dunwich Legacy expansion. So really, those Mythos packs aren't just $15, it's $15 plus the Dunwich Legacy. Whereas this scenario pack is solely contained. All you need is the base game. It gives you all the encounter cards you need and everything in between. So maybe when this game gets really big in the far future, and it's got so many different expansion packs, scenarios like these might be a nice commodity because it doesn't require you to get every single expansion pack prior. You can simply get this single one and be able to incorporate it into any game you have. As a small bonus to everyone watching, I will show you the foam insert that I made for this game. I made it to be somewhat modular because in the future, I do plan for the Dunwich expansion box to hold all of my encounters or all of my scenarios and encounter cards. But here's what I got so far. This is of course everything in the base game, only one core pack, with the Curse of the Rougarou, and so on. So here I simply have all of my encounters, all my scenarios, my one player deck right here. These can be taken out and split apart. Simply lift, remove, lift, remove, and then here's my token tray. I always like to put my tokens that I'm going to need for a game directly all together and off to the side so it can just always be there for any game. And then inside this box here, I've got plenty of room for all the different class decks that we'll be collecting. Here in the top left are my investigators and their investigator specific cards and mini cards. In the middle I've got the common deck, the 5 class decks, and then here in the middle are all the tokens. And of course the bag that I'll put them in. Simply tuck that away here. And this is what I got. As I said, when the Dunwich expansion comes out, I plan to move all of these into that box so that this can simply be the player box. And that way I'll have more room up here to put the extra player decks that I can have to create for when friends and family want to play. So, I hope you enjoyed that look into my foam insert. Of course, I made this out of foam board, and all it takes is a few hours of your time to put it and glue it together. Lay the books on top. And she's good to go. Thanks for watching.